All right, let's talk about what this task 4 is actually doing. So you are using parallel and perpendicular lines to do different tasks within your water park. So for each task, you need to find the endpoints of your segment for each restaurant. So your segment should have 2 endpoints, and you're going to write those endpoints here for each restaurant. You then need to write the equation of the line, which means that you're going to have to write not only just the slope, but also the b value. So if you have the lines and an endpoint, you're going to have to write the b value. So I'm actually going to pause this real quick and I'm going to show you. Okay, so say for instance, I've got my lines on my water park and I have a segment and this is restaurant 1. So this is restaurant 1. And the endpoints, let's just say, is -2, 3 and 6, 4. Okay. What I need to do first is I need to calculate the slope. That's going to help me find that m value in my y-intercept form. So I'm going to calculate the slope, and I'm going to do that by saying y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It does not matter which one you choose as your x1, your y1, or your x2, y2, but I'm just going to pick one, x1, y1, x2, y2, and substitute those values in. So I've got 4 minus 3 over 6 minus a -2. That's going to give me 1 over 8. Kind of a weird slope, but that's all good. So from here, I'm going to use point slope form to find the b value, which we haven't actually done before. So make sure you pay attention to this to find the b value. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay. For the m value, in this case, we're not trying to find a line parallel yet. We're just trying to write the equation of the line. So the slope is going to be the same that we just calculated. For your y1 and your x1, you pick one of the points. Doesn't matter which one. You pick one of the points to plug in so that you can solve for b. So I'm going to say that 6, 4 is x1, y1. So y minus 4 equals 1 over 8 times x minus 6. And I didn't necessarily pick a very pretty number, but that's okay. Equals 1/8. I'm going to distribute that 1/8 x minus 6 over 8. I'm okay with fractions. You might feel more comfortable with decimals. That's fine. Adding 4 to both sides, I'm going to get y equals 1/8 x. And I'm going to add 4, which is going to end up being, if I can do this math in my head, plus 26 over 8. I think that's right. So if I'm adding 4, that's technically 32 over 8. That's just my mixed fraction for 4. Don't worry about that. You can use a calculator. 32 minus 6 is going to be 26 over 8. So that's right. So this is the equation of restaurant 1. All right, and that's what I'm ultimately going to plug into the equation for each of these restaurants. So you need to do this for all 4 restaurants. For part 2 of the task, you're finding a random point across from your restaurant. And it doesn't have to be, sorry, this is kind of glitchy. It doesn't have to be anything special. You're just finding an equation, another point. That new point is going to be your x1 and y1 when you solve for a line parallel. Okay, so you're finding the line parallel for the park benches. For task number 3, let's see if I can move down there, we're going to find the waiting line for each of your restaurants. And the waiting line is perpendicular. So now that you have your point that we're talking about, the entrance point, we're going to find the line that's parallel through that point. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of how to start, especially if you're at home. Hope you guys are feeling comfortable with your projects. Please, please, please reach out to me if you're struggling or if you have any questions.